Hello, welcome back to Brand Sushi Live Noding. In this episode, I will be sharing this breakdown of Node 3 on how I created something like this. This is Susan head with kind of unusual face topology tessellations. So basically, I'm using Adaptive Polygon, which is kind of similar to Tissue add-on for Blender to create something like this. But what's more interesting is actually how I created the pattern itself. So this is the pattern. There are actually 4 different possibilities, and the face variations also included. So let's see how I created this. Let me turn on selection. So this is a single face as a single mesh polygon with multiple face. If I go to edit mode, I can actually select each and every face. This is very clean. And I created this using this curve mapper. Okay, so there are many ways to do this. You can use different ways, different method, and at any time in point, I can change this pattern and it should update. All right. So this is probably already quite interesting. So let's take a look. So what it is actually, this is a plane where I'm doing, it's a simple plane, right? And I'm creating a curve with curve mapper that simply slice over the plane. So this can be more complex. I mean, you can do it with grease pencil as well. You can make any kind of slice actually, and then simply just turn it into a clean mesh. The secret is actually in the intersect edges and planar edge net. So there's nothing super complicated there. I started with number range. I use curve mapper. This curve mapper can be anything. And let's see. You can make any kind of shape, and then you plug this there and update. What's more interesting, however, is how I implement the face fill. So this part, maybe we don't need to care too much. It will does things to the pattern. Maybe it could break, but for now, let's keep it like normalized 1-to-1. So I think I already made something that's causing something there. But anyway, so let's reopen. We don't need this Susan head. Go to the top view. So we have the curve, and the curve goes into UV connection, so it's become proper curve. And we have plane, and I simply join them together, and then I found the intersection edges, and then use planar edge net. And then I'm using vector drop just to center the mesh. Now you might see there's all kind of this different pattern, and there seems to be rotated. So I think what's more interesting is how I apply 2 different materials into these objects. So I have this black and white, but it could be any color. This color needs to be applied down there. So Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. Right. So 2 different materials, and I'm assigning the materials randomly using this, right? When I made this from scratch, actually I didn't think too much. I just keep going like with the flow. So now I'm trying to explain it. It feels slightly complicated. Let's see. Okay, there's this pattern that I'm trying to create, right? I mean, I like to have random value of things, 0, 1, 1, 2. So there are two patterns. So either 0, 1 or 0. I don't want to have like 0, 0 or 1, 1. I want to each one of them to have like inverted or different value, the opposite value, because we have two materials. So we need this kind of lists. So I created it using list join and list item. This list item is actually really quite powerful. So I started with two lists, 0, 1 and 1, 2, and then I joined them together. And with this list item, I can generate this kind of pattern randomly. So either this one or either this one, and this is random number, just either 0 or 1 to get that list. Okay, so that's first. Now there's also this this grid for the placement, so that's actually something we don't need to worry about. But there is this random list of angle. So similar of what I did here with list item, similar things. We have 4 different rotations possibilities: 0, 90 degrees, 180, 270, and then I'm generating random number between 0 and 3 and get the list item from this to generate value. So that we have this all kind of different rotations, and then I'm reapplying it. Right, so we are taking care of the material and also all the possibilities of rotations. Now over here we have all kind of noodles. That's basically, this can be, I think we probably don't need this. This is me just testing it out. So this is much simpler. Okay, this created a grid, and the grid value also plug into the plane, so we can get the locations. All right, so that's pretty clear now. So now we can actually create more of this pattern. Yeah, I think the pattern itself is quite interesting, and you can use this as a mosaic for a photo. For example, you're starting with a photo, and then you kind of resample the photo and get the value of darker or lighter pixel value, and then you use the pattern to generate either darker or brighter value. So I don't know, it's an open-ended kind of creations, so you can create your own pattern here. I think there's something wrong with the rotations. There's some, so it's sometimes they're slightly shifted, so it could be something to do with the factor drop. But anyway, this pattern is of course something that can be applied as a polygon that you can adapt into Suzanne. That's why when I started with this video, we can have this kind of pattern. I'm simply using, instead of laying the polygon face on the ground like that, I'm applying every face polygon and adapt it into Suzanne head. That's why we have this kind of result. I'm using Wireframe and Solidify, but if I take it off, so each part actually is a polygon face that you can colorize, you can actually inset or extrude. Yeah, a lot of potential there. But we are starting with just something like this. So maybe in the next video I'll simplify the whole process. If you have a square and you can draw any kind of pattern here, using grease pencil, we can then adapt this into any 3D model and have like intricate pattern on a 3D. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.